Lucy May here. I am so sorry about not getting my video out Monday morning because I'll tell you a story, but let me just say thank you so much for coming to this episode and watching it. I appreciate all of you so very much, more than you will know, and I hope you get a lot of information from it, a few hacks from it, a few laughs. Even if it's at me, as long as you have a few laughs. But anyways, I am so sorry again that I didn't have it ready for this morning. I did actually have it ready, but the problem was, see, I had gotten a new camera from Amazon, and the camera is fine. There's nothing wrong with the camera. It works great, and I'm gonna try my hardest to keep my glasses on, but I may have to take them off. But anyways, the problem was the app kept crashing on my tablet, so I could not download the videos that I had taken for this program. So I'm having to redo everything right now. So I do apologize for that. I just couldn't get it working, and it was very frustrating. But either way, it's going to be resolved if I have to keep doing what I'm doing now. I was really wanting to be able to get a camera that I could control better in regards to my filming. You know, I could start it where I was at and just download it real quick, and boom, that's what I was trying to do. Being able to wirelessly download it from the camera to my iPad and get it done. That's what my goal was, and bombed that. Bombed it and failed it. So I do apologize for that. Anyways, again, I hope you have a good time watching this today. It's hopefully not going to be too serious. I'm not going to be doing any kind of tutorial for you today. Instead, we're going to be having a discussion about a few different topics. So, the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was traveling. I just came back from a trip. Yes, I was on a trip. Everything you saw the last 2 episodes was pre-recorded. And thank you for watching those. Anyways, but I went on a trip. I went to Florida for a week and a half, Florida and Georgia, and discovered some things that I thought would be really great to share with you because it's very helpful. And I've been using these hacks, but I just hadn't done them for you. And also discovered some things that I needed to change because, you know, let's be honest, I take too much on my trips. I end up coming home with half the stuff I haven't used, and I just take too much with me, and it's really difficult to narrow it down, especially when you go somewhere where it's cold in the morning and overnight, but then it's warm during the day. So it's like, well, do I bring warm? Do I bring cold? What if I get cold in the morning and I don't have anything warm with me? So I've got to work on that, and that's personally for me. I don't know if any of you are going through that for yourself, especially now that we're in the holiday season and people are traveling here and there, and I'm hoping that everybody will be able to travel this coming Christmas because I hear there's a huge storm brewing, and I'm hoping that people get there safely to their destination. But either way, if you're traveling, whether it's flying, driving, or going on a bus, train, however, that this may help you. So the first hack I really want, and I'll be looking at my phone periodically, so if I'm looking down, it's just at my phone. The first thing I want to tell you about is, to me, it's a huge hack, and I've been using this for a year now, doing this. I've had a few trips under my belt the last year and a half, and this thought came to me. I've not seen, and it's probably been shared by others, but the ones I've watched, the tutorials I've watched, I've not seen this suggested. And, you know, it's a great way to reuse the material that we receive and not fill up our garbage cans with it. You can keep reusing it until it just wears out and then recycle it, right? Okay, so if you order makeup from any website, whether it's online, whether, you know, it's in the store, online, most of these places will send you your products and packaging to keep them from getting damaged. And I'm referring to bubble wrap, okay? And I think most of my palettes come in this packaging. So they'll send it and then they'll double bubble wrap it and all kinds of stuff. So what I do is I save this stuff. Now some of it might be, I won't save all the bigger bubble wrap necessarily. I do have some on hand if I should have to mail something. But I save these. And you know why I save these? Because when you're traveling and you're taking some eye palettes with you, you can pack them in these, and that just adds a layer of protection. If you have any glass bottles, perfumes, any of your skincare that's glass, your foundations, whatever is glass, you can use these to help protect them. So I encourage you, from now on, any more packaging you take, to start saving these, because you can reuse them. I have 2 bags full. This is one of the bags that I have in here. I've got other sizes that I've been using, but I mean, they're wonderful. Let's see if I can pull some out here. Like, this is a good enough size that I'll put my longer palettes, like from Urban Decay, or who else is a big palette that I get? Sometimes Morphe. Just there's others that you can do that you put them in here and just fold them, and that makes a double line of protection. The other thing I was going to say, I hope y'all do reuse these, but this one particularly, how many order from Huda Beauty? She sends hers in this packaging. It is so adorable because the bubbles are actually hearts. And I don't know if I can show it to you. If you can see it, that they're hearts. I can see it on the screen that they're hearts. And nice thick packaging, bubble wrap. And I'll use these for even another line of protection, so that when I'm traveling, I feel pretty good that everything will stay protected. And I've not had any damaged products the whole time I've been using that. Now, I've always been careful, don't get me wrong. I've never really had anything damaged outside of if it's something that I did stupid, But nothing that has come back damaged or anything. And so this just adds another layer of protection and makes you feel more comfortable. So from now on, save anything like this. Find you a nice bag and put it in the bag so you have it. Okay? And you'll be surprised. You can even use like that bag I showed you from Huda Beauty. Put all your stuff in bubble wraps that you need to be sealed up, and just put it inside that bag so you have another layer of protection. So save your stuff. It's reusable, and you save the environment from polluting all kinds of things with the bubble wrap, the plastic. You can recycle it and get rid of it, right? The other thing I was going to mention was, when you're traveling, especially in your carry-on, get a makeup bag that fits your carry-on. And what I mean is, there's different sizes of makeup bags that, especially the ones that have the slots in them, that you can place like your lipsticks and your eyeliners or your nail polishes in. Not unless you're wrapping them up in the bubble wrap. It may not necessarily work, but you can try. And it has like different pockets. And I found that to be a very good asset, because it helped me organize my makeup. And I knew exactly where everything was. I didn't have to sit there and fiddle through a bag to find out where my where my stuff was in. And it was a big help for me. So if I was going to be going anywhere or doing anything, that's the first thing I would use, is get you a nice makeup bag that has dividers in, and put your stuff in that. And I think you'll find out how easy it is to use. The other thing I would tell you to reuse is the makeup bags that you get from the companies. Like, if you get something for free, you get a bag. I know that, like Too Faced, they do a lot of that. spend this amount of money and we'll give you these two products with this makeup bag. I've got several makeup bags. And so if I'm having trouble putting something somewhere, and especially like if I wrap my stuff up in a bubble wrap, I will put it in those bags and then just put it in my suitcase. Well, if they're valuable, um, I know with the airlines, there's, they have, you have to be careful what you put on your carry-on, and they want all of it condensed, your liquids and stuff. I have a bag that's the size of a quarter size bag that I use to put all my liquids in and that stuff. But if you're going to stow it in your suitcase, you can put a few of these bubble wrapped items in those makeup bags, and then you just have to really make sure that your makeup is uh, in between, like it's in between the layers of clothes, so that it's also adding a layer of protection. But they work too, so make sure you're also not getting rid of those extra makeup bags or using them on something else. Don't let them just sit around and not be used. I mean, I have some right now that I need to be sorting through to be using. So the other thing is, I noticed that they're selling, and I've got myself a set of these from Amazon, are those Ziploc bags. They're thicker. They're like for snacks. You can get them for snacks, but they actually advertise them for makeup as well. That if you don't have a nice makeup case that you can get, but you still want to sort your makeup, you can get a package of them, and they come in like, I think 8 or 10 bags in a package. You could sort through all your makeup and put like eyeliners in one, lipsticks in another, sort through them, and then get you a bigger baggie, and then throw them in there. Not throw them, but, put them in there. And then, take them with you on your carry-on. Like I said, make sure you're packing them correctly. The other thing I would say in doing this is plan what you're going to bring. Now, part of that is making a list. For me personally, I made a list for everything that I brought on my trip. Every little piece I brought, down to my lipsticks. Not necessarily didn't name them, I just put lipstick. So I made this huge list from clothes to whatever, so that I would not forget anything. And guess what? I had the correct stuff with me. I didn't need to go to the store to buy anything. I had everything that right there. So I suggest that you go ahead and get a list going. Now there's several apps that you can make lists on. There's I use right now Zinnia, which is an kind of like a journaling app, but it's not just journaling. You can make any kind of list on this app. You can design things. You can do graphic designing on this app. I mean, there's so many wonderful things about Zinnia. And so I use that to make my list. And I also have another one that's like a task list app as well that you can use. And I know that like Microsoft puts out one. There's a few of the other huge companies do put them out. But make a list, and you'll be surprised that when you're packing and you're looking at your list, that you're not going to get as stressed, but you'll be more organized as to what you're doing. Now I did follow my list. Like I said, I didn't leave anything off. There was, I think, 1 or 2 things that I didn't bring, but it was no big deal. I didn't need to bring them. Was if I wanted to type of stuff. But my problem was that I brought too much of certain things. So the next time I travel, I'm going to try to just maybe say 5 shirts. Bring 5 shirts. That's it. And name the actual, like have the actual number of how many items. I think that's what I need to do, because I'm just taking too much stuff. And it's costing me, because, you have to pay for your luggage now, not unless you're a member of one of the perks of Delta or American and get your baggage checked, your first bag for free. I mean, unless you're part of that, you have to pay for every luggage except your carry-on. And even some airlines, I think, may be even charging for your carry-on. So make sure that what you're taking is what you really want. And I'm speaking to myself when I say that. So I have everything right where I want it. And um, and also that applies to makeup. I did make a list for my makeup, and and I followed it, but then I brought too much of it. So I didn't know exactly how many palettes to bring, but I tried to match, and this is I encourage you is try to figure out what makeup you want to wear when you're gone, and like limit it to the basics. Like take one foundation, one concealer, one setting powder, one blush if you can. If you take more than one, that's okay. A couple is fine. Um, Maybe just a few high eyeliners or one mascara. Try to limit it down to the basics. Now your eye palettes, okay, if you just can't figure out what to wear with your clothes, neutral palettes will always work. But if you're wanting to match, like I try to match my clothes with or my makeup with my clothes, I should say. If you can do that, because you can figure out what you're going to wear beforehand, then do that. So that way you're not taking 20 eye palettes with you. You may only need just a couple palettes, and try to use the same palette for more than one outfit. That way, like I said, you're not taking so much makeup with you. Again, I took too much with me on that realm. And I took a lot of eye palettes, and I've done this the last few trips I've taken. But there was also other purposes I was going to do, which I did. Like the trip before this, I was seeing my grandkids, and I brought eye palettes that I thought my little granddaughters would like to wear. So I brought those with. And then like this last time, I brought extra eyeshadow palettes because I was going to had the intention of doing my best friend's makeup. But then I ended up not we ended up being really busy and tired, so I never got around to doing it except explaining things to her. So she got out of it this time, but she won't get out of it the next time. I'm going to make sure I'm going to do her makeup. But so I would just make sure, you plan ahead. It's all about planning. Um Now with the eye palettes, like I said, don't forget to use these, reuse them. If you're not going to take them in your carry-on, and I have, believe it or not, put it in my checked luggage, there's never been a problem, because what I've done is I'll take it and I'll layer it between clothes. So that way you have another layer of protection from it. So I'll do one layer, have maybe one or two palettes, go down a few layers, do one or two palettes. I mean, of course, you don't want to bring that many, but there are ways of handling your eye palettes and eye makeup. But of course, you can bring it with you. Just remember, space is space, and you want to use your space wisely, because every bit of your space is going to cost you in a way. So, excuse me, I'm talking too much and I'm not breathing enough. So that's just how I am. That's just me. Okay, so I will tell you another thing, and this is something that's really helped me out. Um, when you're packing for your carry-on, you want all your stuff that's valuable to be on your person, really. Um, Especially like your laptop or your iPad, your electronics. I mean, you don't really want to check that in your luggage. It's too much of a risk, in my opinion, for somebody to take it, which you just never know. But what I have ended up doing this last trip, and I did it the trip before, I believe. I don't know if I did, but this trip I did, because my suitcases, all of them were heavy, but they still came within the requirements. They weren't over 50 pounds. So I checked the 2 pieces of luggage and ended up going to, my destination, my gate, and that's when they asked for people to check their carry-ons. Now, this is money saving, because if you check on Delta, I can't remember the other airlines, but on Delta, they charge you $70 for 2 suitcases. And if you do 3, it goes up to $220. I don't know why, but if you wait, you may save money by just checking your luggage, your carry-on at the gate. So that saves you a bit of money to do that if they're wanting people to check their baggage, their carry-on. And I ended up doing it, the first time they announced it, I went and did it. The second time I asked if they were doing it, and they said, yes, we are. We're needing people to check it. So there you save some money and doing it that way. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I did it because my suitcase, I had a bag and a carry-on, and both of them, had a ton of stuff in it. And so I was very thankful I checked my carry-on, even if it was at the gate. I still had this other bag that I had my electronics and stuff in, my personal item. All right, so there's that with the traveling aspect. I had a great time trying to figure out now what I can do I really don't want to take as much stuff with me the next trip I go on. So, if you have any suggestions, you can obviously put them in the comments if you think of anything. And I would love to learn what other people are doing so I can see if I can do it, or if I'm doing something wrong and you have an idea of how to change something. Please feel free to share, because I would like to know as well, what others, so maybe I can get an idea of, maybe I can change something a little different. One last thing was my brushes. I just put them in one of these tubby things, not this big one. I have a smaller one, black one I had gotten from Morphe, and I just put all my brushes in there because there was no other place in my makeup case. So that's how, and they were great for traveling, All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is makeup palettes. So I've been trying to showcase palette every time I've had an episode. And because my episode got messed up yesterday, I couldn't download it. I was wanting to showcase them up. It's Christmas. And in fact, let me see if I can find it right here and show you. This was what I was showcasing yesterday. And of course, I didn't use it today because I was going elsewhere and I had an idea of what makeup I wanted to use. They didn't have an exact blue, even though in this palette you have it looks like a blue. That one is supposed to be blue, but when you put it on, it turns purple. So I knew I didn't want to wear that with what I was wearing. So I used that the other day. So I've used a few of the colors in here already, and so far so good. I haven't had any complaints about any of them. They've lasted very well. I will continue to use them. The only issue, I wish they would have put a darker brown in here for me. That would have been great. But because this one is really a darker, like a really dark purple is what this is. At least that's what it looks like. But yeah, it's a great palette. I have no issues with it, but I didn't do that today for my makeup. So the one I did do today, I got from Beauty Bakery, and it's called Do It for the Gram, like in graham crackers. And I'll take my glasses off in a minute here. Don't look at these eye things. I messed up one of them really royally this morning. This one, I did. I messed it up. It was my fault. So, anyway, yeah, you can see it's like an eyesore. I did this blue here, and I used the brown from my hot chocolate cocoa palette. Because I just felt it was too light for me for what I was trying to do. So, anyways, I've used a few items on here. I'm not too thrilled with this palette, I'll say. It does have good colors. It does have pigment. But I went out earlier and came back and I had to reapply my eyeshadow, the blue one, because it was almost worn off, and that's with using a eye concealer and a setting spray on it. So that to me is not really good. But let me take off my glasses so you can see, get my hair out of my face, so you can see what I'm dealing with here. And it went on very easily. There was no problem with it blending in. There was no problems with it staying on. As far as when I put it initially on, I didn't have any fallout. I didn't have any issues with that. It's just that it didn't last. And I have another palette in here, see, that I absolutely love. Actually, there's two palettes I absolutely love from Beauty Bakery. The one is Sugar Cookie, which I don't have in front of me. Their blue is just awesome, and their coloring is wonderful. And the looks I've gotten out of that palette have been like beautiful. I never had a problem with the eye makeup going away. It stayed. And this other one, which is the Chosen Bun, is absolutely phenomenal because it's a neutral palette, but it has a lot of shimmers, and I love the shimmers. And I need to do it for you probably in the new year. At least you could see it. But these colors are just, they're fabulous, and they last, and it's beautiful. And I don't know what happened with this one. There's another one that's bakery. It's something in bed. I can't remember. I think that's what it is. Can't remember the exact title of it. I don't have it. I have it packed away. But it's just kind of the same thing like this. So I don't know if they're different formulas they're using or what, but it's, unfortunately, you don't know what you're going to get when you order that particular eye palettes from Beauty Bakery. But I'll continue. You know, I have another one I have not tried yet, which is called Sweet Potato Pie. And that one you can get online. You probably can get it on sale too. And you can get it in the store in Target. Now, they do have a section in the store where they have minimized, made them smaller, the products, so that you can afford them. But again, you know, it's a little cheaper, but you have to look at the packaging isn't the same as her stuff online. So just be aware of that. And what you see in the store may not be what you can order online either, because their products are smaller, and like the lip ones are smaller. They're not the big giant size that you get when you order online. So just different products. The same thing with ColourPop. Their eyeshadows and stuff are different. And I want to say you can't buy, I don't think you can buy those particular ones online, but I'm not quite for certain on that. So you may want to double check. But, you know, the packaging is going to be different, of course, versus in the store and online. Online, you're going to get all the detailed packaging and all the cute little stuff, versus in stores, it's just the plastic cover, and the, you know, it's just different. It's not the same. I prefer to get I pay for detail and decorative packaging. So anyways, since I've already talked about that, Beauty Bakery, and I'm going to show you some more. I've been ordering a ton of ColourPop because every other week they are coming out with new products. Now, a few I haven't ordered yet that I want to order, and I know that some of their colors are probably very similar, if not the same. But they do have beautiful, I don't know, they just get you with their packaging. And they get me with their packaging. So like these I have not showcased I haven't put on for you, which is like not a box of chocolates. Not a box of chocolates. I love this too. It's a neutral palette as well. It's got a little bit of color as well in it. And so I need to try it on and do a makeup tutorial with it. I won't show you all of these because as far as like opening them up, but Troublemaker, I did do their eye jellies for you. I didn't do the palette yet, actual palette. Control Alt and Glam. I haven't done this one either for you. Alright, so okay, so I did do Star Wars, their palette, but I did not do Darth Vader. I did not do Mandalorian. I did not do the child, which is totally adorable. I did do, okay, now I did do C3PO, I believe. I want to say CP3O, but it's C3PO. I get it confused all the time. I also have the avatar, and I have not done that for you. I just got this one in. I haven't used it yet either. It's a small world. Of course, I had to get it because it was Disney, and it's a small world. After all, that ride is like an iconic ride of Disney World. So I just had to get it. I love how it looks. I love the packaging. I like how some of the buildings are trying to portray the ones in the ride. It's cool. I think that's it for that. Then for Too Faced, I have just got this before I left on vacation, and I have not used it yet. It's called You Drive Me Glazy. And this is a huge palette, so I may do this for our next episode. I think, which will be the day after Christmas. So it's got a lot of eye colors and has a lot of blushes in it, so I look forward to trying that one. And then at some point in the new year, I will be trying this one, which, how many of you remember Lisa Frank? She was I just knew her as a sticker lady. She had all these stickers you could buy, and they were just so adorable, and notebooks and whatever else, just cute little, objects and stuff that were for Lisa Frank. Anyways, I had to get this from Morphe. This tiger, I think, has been on a zillion products. But I always loved this tiger. And it's always on. And on top of it being retro, it's like a trapper keeper. I don't know if you know what a trapper keeper is. Back in the day, that was our notebook. We held our papers. It held our note papers that we were taking. You could put your assignments in there and close it up, and everybody had a trapper keeper. And it's kind of designed like a trapper keeper. You have to open it up 3 ways, and there you are. There's your colors. I don't know if you can say it or not. You get a mirror with it. It's 2. It was like the early form of a planner to me. That's what it reminds me of. Early form of a day planner. Okay, so that's that. Let me see what's next here. I think that was pretty much with that. I did want to just kind of bring up something that I've been noticing a lot on the videos, YouTube videos, not just on makeup videos, but a lot of other videos, how negative they've become. And it's really sometimes difficult to watch some of them because it's always completely negative and there's no positive. Because the truth is, there's always will be positivity in something. Even in our worst case scenarios that go on with our life, there will be positive things. Sometimes it's very difficult to see, but there are positive things. So I just encourage you that if you're seeing a lot of negativity going on, or you have a lot of negative things in your life happening, choose to try to find something positive, because there needs to be that balance between positive and negative. If you have too much negative going on, it affects your attitude. It'll affect your mood. It'll make you more depressed. It'll make you more sad. And I'm not saying that this all causes depression and sadness, but it certainly can affect it. It doesn't make it any better for sure. But there needs to be a balance, because, okay, I get it. I'm just going to use this as an example. There are some makeup companies that have had issues in the past. And whether it be in their formula or just their company themselves, they've had scandals going on, whatever, the situation is. And it's very easy to look at them negatively and look at what they're doing. But you can always find positive things in something. And so what I mean is, you may not like a particular, like me, for instance. Let me use this as an example. Like, I don't really care for this palette. that I told you about that I'm wearing. But I'll still wear it. It's not going to stop me from wearing it. But I may not like this particular color. Now, I have not tried a few of these other colors. There's duo multi-chromes in here. So I don't know if they're going to be doing the same thing as this blue. So I can't say it's the entire palette is bad. Okay, so I could make that comment. But really, I need to just say, okay, I know that this color is bad. But I've tried this other color and it's not bad. It's good. You know, you see what I'm saying? So trying to find something positive. The packaging is beautiful. That palette may suck, but they really did a good job. And, you know, so, and I'm just not talking about makeup in doing that. I'm talking about that as an example. You know, you're always going to find positive things about something, even when there doesn't appear to be any negative, like it doesn't appear to be any positive. There is always something positive you can find, and that will affect your attitude, and it'll make you a little bit less sad and a little bit less depressed. And this is my challenge for you this coming week while we go into Christmas and we go into the holiday and into the new year. Every day, find one thing that is positive that you can focus on. So if you're seeing a lot of negative YouTube videos or you're seeing a lot of negative news that's happening, which I know there's a lot of things going on, find a news article that's positive. You know, there's news articles and there's news stories out there that are very they're touching, very touching. Find one of those and watch one of those. And then when you do that, do something kind for somebody. Open the door for someone. Compliment someone. Write a letter to someone that's positive. Encourage someone. Pay it forward. You know, there's different things you can do to be kind. So not only do I challenge you to find something positive every day, do something positive for somebody in your life that you come across. Now, I know it might be difficult if you're stuck in your home, but you could do something positive for a loved one or a friend. So there's just different things. But, you know, my point is we have to balance out the negative with the positive. There's got to be a balance there. It can't be all negative. I mean, can't be so wrong all the time. There's got to be a positive in there, because if there's not, it just makes the whole everything look bad. You know what I mean? Like it makes your whole attitude and the way you see things negative. So there's got to be a positive. So let's kind of get rid of the negativity and balance it with the positive if we can. I mean, I know, like I said, you may have some negative things going on and you can only do so much with that. But what you can do is find something positive to think about and to look at, and, you know, get your eyes off the negative things for a few minutes, if just only a few minutes. And make sure that you're taking care of you, that you're doing self-care, and make sure that you're, you know, giving yourself maybe 5 minutes, if that's all you can, 15 minutes, even a half an hour. Do whatever you have to do to spend some time with yourself so you can regroup, so you can rethink, so you can renew your mind, as they say in the Bible, and, you know, take some deep breaths and kind of let your stress just settle down and start thinking on something that you're thankful for. You know, thankful can be equivalent to positive too. So if you can't find anything positive necessarily about something, you know, you can always be thankful for having a roof over your head. You can be thankful for having food on the table. You can be thankful for having $10 in your pocket. There's things that you can be thankful for if you can't find anything positive within a situation. So I just encourage you to do that if you're struggling to find something positive in a situation. Because it's hard. I get it. I mean, there's some situations where you're just like, this is messed up. There's just nothing going on with this. But I thank God that I have a roof over my head today. That's what I'm thankful for. Or, you know, I'm thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful that I'm still have life in me. or I'm thankful that I have this job, even though at times it's so hard to work at, but I'm thankful I have it because I have an income. There's just different things you can be thankful for, in the process. And you can take that time to just really reflect on it when you're having some alone time, or you're driving. That's the only time you're alone, is in the car. I mean, whatever helps you relax and maybe calm down. You have to do that. If you don't, you can't give out of an empty cup. It doesn't work. It's the same thing with the car. You can't drive it if it's empty. You can try, you can putter along for only just a little bit, then after that it won't work. It will not work. And then you're pulling from grasping at other straws to see if you can give out of that, and then you just, before you know it, you're in the gutter. And life is really bad, and we don't want to ever get to that point. I have gotten to that point myself, and it is a bad place. It's a dark place, and we're trying to prevent that from happening. That's why you need to fill up your gas tank as soon as you feel like things are kind of emptying out. You need to keep refilling it. And I hope that encourages you, and I hope that blesses you. And know that I'm praying for all of you. I'm praying that y'all have a good week, a good Christmas, and know that you are loved, that someone loves you no matter what. God loves you. Your friends love you. Your family loves you. If you feel alone and you feel like you don't have anybody, there is always somebody there that loves you. So keep that in mind this holiday if you're having a hard time. And just know that you're being prayed for, and that this week it's going to be Christmas, like I said, and try not to be stressed out if you can, and just try to enjoy time with whoever you're going to be with for the holidays. And other than that, I just look forward to seeing y'all again next Monday. I do plan on having an episode out the day after Christmas, and just, keep me in your prayers that I can figure out what to do for a camera so I can actually feel like I'm not looking down all the time, that I'm looking up a little bit. So I don't look like I have 5 chins. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, I love y'all, and I will see you next Monday.